Hi everyone, I'm Madeleine Cassie, nutritionist and personal trainer here at Sparkle Lifestyle at MediSpa. I'm also the owner. Today I wanted to take the time to explain you a little bit how to improve your meal prep for the week. I want you to learn how to save time, limit the waste, and just have better results in general. So I'm going to explain you my tips. So first of all, I'm going to explain you my situation. So I'm alone here in Moncton. It's not like I have a family of four to do meal prep for. So it's all about me. So I'm just going to explain a little bit how I'm trying to reduce the waste and how to make it the more efficient as possible. So I'm going to give you tips if you're just by yourself or if you have an actual family. So first of all, yes, I do have like a meal plan to follow, but I always try to plan ahead and I choose, let's say, between 2 and 3 protein. I found that's what it's a little bit harder to reach. So let's say I'm decided to go for chicken this week. I'll try to have like a chicken and then maybe salmon or whatever type of protein, but try to focus on 2 or 3 sources of protein. And I'll do the same thing for carbs. So let's say I'm decided to have quinoa and then maybe rice. So I'll cook everything in advance. So I kind of decide in advance what I'm going to eat for breakfast for my meal, and then I write everything down. Then I multiply those factors by how many weeks I'm going to prep for. So in my case, I like to prep for 5 days because that's where I'm actually too busy to work. So let's say I decided to have chicken for my lunch and then I want salmon for my supper. So I have 4 ounces of each. So I'll multiply my salmon by 5 pounds. So that equal around 800 grams of meat. So when I go shop for my meat, I'll measure in quantity. Same thing for my salmon, or maybe that's about like 5 chicken breasts or 5 pieces of salmon. So I buy it already prepared. That's how I do it. If you buy like a bunch, what I suggest is to cook a bunch and then divide it in how many meals. So that's how I do it to plan my meal in advance. Then I'll do the same thing for my carbs. So I'll cook in advance. Let's say I need, like for rice, let's say I'm allowed to have half a cup of rice, so I'll multiply my 5 cups of rice. I'll just put everything in water and then multiply by time, so I know I can boil like 3.5 cups of rice. So I found that saved me a whole lot of time. And then I mix and match, but I always make sure I have all my protein in advance. So I can just grab and go. So let's say I'm doing my meal, so I'll grab just 4 ounces of my chicken and then put that in Tupperware, then scoop out half a cup of my rice, put that in my Tupperware, add my vegetables on top of it. So then I have like all my Tupperwares for the week. And for supper time, what I can do, it's because I have like the meat already prepared, I can just again grab like 4 ounces of that meat and just throw it on either a stir fry, wrap, what's my other idea? I have a couple of ideas here. Stir fry, wrap, maybe a healthy pizza or taco night. So I just need to grab my meat so it's already prepared, because if you don't prepare in advance, you get back home, you're busy, you don't have time. So I suggest to always have your meat cooked in advance and your vegetables already cut. So that's going to save you a tons of money. So let's say I'm going over my breakfast. So I'll decide what I'm doing this week for my breakfast. So if I'm doing an overnight oatmeal, I'll have half a cup of my oats. I'll put that all in my Tupperware. Then I'll add half a cup of my protein powder, all in my Tupperware. Then maybe my tablespoon of flaxseed, all my Tupperware. Add my half of apple, and then my cinnamon. So, and then top it with water. So I have my 5 meal already prepared in that jar in the fridge. So in the morning when I wake up, I can just grab my overnight oats. So you can do the same thing for your smoothie. If you like having smoothie, you can just put all the ingredient for 5 days in the blender, then divide the big mix into 5 different five portion. Then you can even freeze those all the mix into like an ice tray, and just put all the ice cube in like a Tupperware. So in the morning you can just put the ice cube back in the blender. So you're saving yourself a lot of time. So that's, you know, you need to decide what you're going to do in advance, but that's 2 of my tips for breakfast. Then for snack, what I actually love to do is take 2 rice cakes, put peanut butter on them, then squish it back together. Then I can put them back in the big bag or separate them into smaller Ziploc. So then I can bring those Ziploc back to work. When I travel, it's easy. They're always ready to just grab and go. And then for my, like I mentioned, for my lunch, I'll just grab back to the meat that I cook. So let's say I'm doing chicken, I'll just grab my 4 ounces of chicken, put that in my Tupperware, put my veggies already prepped, and my rice. That's my meal. And then the second snack, I usually like to have, I can do plain fat-free Greek yogurt. I'll have half a cup of it. I'll throw some berries. I like to put frozen berries, so the juice of the berries make it really like sweeter. And I'll add some vanilla and some maple syrup to make it a little bit sweeter. So I suggest to put your own syrup, your own quality like sweets in your Greek yogurt. So it's a little bit better than buying those already pre-made Greek yogurt like with flavor, so because that's fake sugar and it's just not good. And for a nighttime supper, you just grab the meat that's already prepped and you just create something that the entire family would love. Like I mentioned, you can just take like a pita, put a little bit of like tomato sauce, your chicken, a little bit of cheese, vegetables, and you got yourself a pizza that night. Maybe you can do a taco night. So you just have the taco shell, you put a little bit of ground beef, with tons of your vegetables, maybe Greek yogurt for instead of sour cream. So again, you have like a meal that everybody loves that night. You can maybe do a soup, a sandwich, try to find, you know, at nighttime something that everybody loves, but always have your meal already cooked and your vegetables pre-cut to save time. At nighttime, personally, I love doing boiled eggs. That's my favorite nighttime snack. Having boiled eggs, it's easy that you cook 1 or 12, it takes you the same time. So that's my favorite nighttime snack. Or maybe you can even pop some hair popcorn in advance that you just grab, or maybe you can do some kind of protein ball that you do a bunch of it and then you divide it. So meal prep is essential. It's either when you're trying to lose weight or even like maintain that weight loss, meal prep is essential. So that's how I do it. That's what worked for me. Feel free to comment below all your little tips and tricks, how you do your meal prep. I'm sure there's tons of people out there that want to learn more about it. So, and even if you have more questions about something I mentioned, feel free to comment below. Have a wonderful day. Bye.